Hey, this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Om Klim Kali Ke Namaha. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you'd like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps to support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. Now, this is about the full moon happening on December 15th in Taurus, in Margashira Nakshatra. So this is a completion in the matters of family, our values, our possessions, money, and the themes can also revolve around food. And the focus is on long distance travel, which is for the holidays for most. The themes will revolve around a quest for knowledge, resources, and wealth, or knowledge in these areas, or also religion, as it's going to be Christmas time very soon. It's good for trade and for agriculture, being face to face with colleagues, alliances, and groups for feasts. A transformation can occur suddenly to many because of a new source of wisdom that is acquired. Sudden inheritances, money that wasn't earned but can be received. Someone in your social circle can transform your life, or you may put an end to this relationship. Margashira translates into a deer's head. So like a deer, it's about wandering, it's about searching and curiosity. In Ramayana, there is a magical deer that was actually a demon posing as a deer and caught Sita's attention because she wanted to possess this deer. She asked Rama to catch it for her. So as he did, she ended up getting kidnapped by the demon. There's another story that relates to this nakshatra, which is Brahma became fond of his daughter Rohini and he started chasing her, and she was in the form of a deer. But Brahma is the creator of everything, so actually technically everyone's his daughter. It's not as bad as you think that sounds. So Shiva cut the head off the deer, and then the deer shape became the constellation. So that's why the constellation actually looks like a deer, and the head of the deer is facing Rohini Nakshatra, because this was Rohini. So a lot of this nakshatra has to do with a mirage, chasing a mirage, something that you thought was real but it was illusionary, and chasing something based on desire, which can get us in trouble sometimes. So the lesson of this nakshatra is not to give in to desire. So the demon in the first story represents the ego, and the desire in both stories is the same. Shiva cuts the head off the deer, and Shiva is a higher consciousness. That's what it represents, destroying the illusion. So the more that we are in ego, the more we have illusionary meaning to what we're seeing. But if we get into our higher consciousness or our Shiva consciousness, we will be able to see the truth and cut off the head of the illusion. Cutting off the head means cutting off the ego. So this illusion that we might be facing is in the 9th house, in Shravana Nakshatra, which is the music industry. The reality is starting to set in for many that it wasn't what others thought it was, and that it was actually adharmatic. Do not believe everything you hear or listen to as the truth. And this goes for the media as well. This will be a big lesson. Much of it is an illusion. This includes religion, science, the government, authority figures, and the justice system. A lot of this can be an illusion at this time. This illusion can also come from marital problems, like in the story. Disagreements at home based on seeing or interpreting things incorrectly can happen. This is a nakshatra of marital problems. Someone can accuse you of having multiple partners, for example, like cheating that never happened. Or someone thought that they could do better, which was never the case. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Or this nakshatra is about never being satisfied. And then this is in Taurus. So this can be about not being satisfied with material possessions or family. And this is Christmas. So a lot of people have very high expectations and become very materialistic. And they get presents or they get gifts and they're not satisfied. A lot of people have to go see their family, and there are some disagreements, and they could feel like maybe their family is never satisfied with them, or they're not satisfied with the gifts they brought them, and all of this is just ego. So these are things that can happen based on illusion. Now, the other reason I say this is because Moon and Jupiter are conjunct in the first house, which is great yoga for wealth, especially because Jupiter is in Rohini. So that can bring wealth our way, which is really good. It's great for optimism, happiness, but we also have to make sure that we don't fall for mirages based on being overly optimistic about something, or being overly emotional, which can happen, or overly drinking and being merry. This is the nakshatra of the Soma, and then Jupiter is here too. So be careful of making judgments while drinking. Overall, this is good for long distance travel, children, although some people may be more focused on their social circles rather than their children at this time. Work can be slower than usual, or some may take off time for the holidays. Some may be feeling overworked with little pay, the ones who are working. Saturn is squaring the moon, so there can be a feeling of being tired or having ups and downs in mood is possible because we have both Saturn and Jupiter aspecting the moon. Unexpected gains or desires can be fulfilled at this time. On December 14th, the day before, we celebrate Bhairavi, who is the consort of Lord Bhairava, who destroys the demons, which is our lower egoic nature. This is a fierce form of Ma Kali and the Mahavidyas, which are the goddesses. This represents the root chakra, Saturn. And this moon in Margashira is all about the worship of the goddesses and the main nakshatra of Parvati, who is a consort of Lord Shiva. So with Jupiter here, it's the best time to gain wisdom or do spiritual practices even the day before. Because also on December 14th is the day where we celebrate, especially people who practice Agora Tantra, is Dattatreya Jayanti, and Dattatreya is a guru that is worshipped a lot by Agora Tantra. And that's because he was such an enlightened being and he was his own guru. So they asked him, who is your guru? And he said, I am my own guru. And then he named some people, some animals, some things that he's witnessed, some elements that he witnessed, and he said basically that everything is his guru. He learned from life, and that's what enlightened him. So you can use the day before to get rid of your lower aspects of your consciousness, and then the next day you can actually feel satisfied. So that's a trick to it by doing spiritual practice, because on that day, if you're doing spiritual practice on these days, it will be amplified. Now, Mars is a karaka of the third house, which will be in the third house, but it's still in detriment. So it's not that bad in the third house, but there still is some ups and downs with travel and siblings as well. Going overseas or to foreign places to visit siblings is very possible. Venus in the ninth house in Capricorn, the focus here is on long distance travel, religion, which is Christmas, science, justice, teachers, knowledge, and legal matters. Some can gain through insurance or supportive relatives. Some can gain through children, and some can gain through friends. And I believe that's just people exchanging gifts. So Jupiter and Moon creates this auspicious yoga, which I was talking about in astrology. So this can also bring spiritual growth, optimism, and financial success. Now the sun is in Jesta Nakshatra at the Gandanta point, and this is with Mercury is in this sign as well, in Scorpio and Anuradha, and it's aspected by Saturn and Jupiter. So the leaders will have problems helping the most vulnerable in accidents, crime-like scenarios, for example, because we have the sun going from Jesta Nakshatra to Mula Nakshatra. So when it's at the Gandanta point, then that's telling us that there's some kind of crisis situation or some transformative situation that must occur. And so in the world, this nakshatra has to do with the police, crime, the occult, death, like homicide squad, things like that, which can happen. So there's probably going to be a lot of crime that happens at that time, secrets uncovered, people having to help the most vulnerable, leaders having to help the most vulnerable. After that, after the Gandanta point, the next day, then Sun will go into Sagittarius. It'll still be at the Gandanta point until December 18th. Then once it's there on December 18th, then it's in Mula, and it's time to get to the root cause of what happened, and the healing begins. So if you find any kind of crisis situation or something that you didn't expect all of a sudden, just wait and it will be fine. Now, the Mars is going to create a lot of problems, and has been creating a lot of problems with the real estate market because it's in Cancer until next year. So that's just going to happen. The problems with national patriotism as well, oppositions to government, because we have Saturn and Mars making this aspect. Also, this can create weather disasters. There could be some potential problems with schools and colleges. Now, also because the fourth lord is at the Gandanta point, this can cause weather issues for traveling, accidents while traveling short distances in cars, buses, and trains, and arguments with siblings can happen as well because of Mars' detriment in the third house. There can be some problems related to war, international disputes, and people versus the government based on knowledge that may be exposed. Crime rates will be increasing. Open warfare that can put leaders at risk and affect the financial matters of countries, education, children, and the entertainment industry, involving leaders, celebrities in these positions of power. Now, the professions that this will include and the themes we'll hear around these professions are as follows. Artists of all types. This nakshatra is all about people who are thinkers, people who are adventurers seeking different things, those who sell gemstones, those involved in the fashion industry and garment industry, designers, for example, people, veterinarians, people who take care of animals, salespeople, advertising agencies, agriculturalists, real estate, like I mentioned, those who navigate and travel, psychics, astrologers, and that's pretty much it. So that's just a little bit about what I see for this upcoming full moon. I wish you guys a really happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.